5 years ago, I randomly watched a YouTube video on how to crochet to relieve my boredom. Little did I know that years into my future, that YouTube video, a hook, and yarn would become my rock. Today, I am persuading you on the idea that crocheting isn't just a boring hobby to pass time, but it's a way to really put your mind to work, but also getting a rewarding result. Crocheting is something that you can do to unwind and relieve stress, or a way to improve your mental health, or your motor skills as well. And of course, it's also a fun way to create. There's this stereotype that crocheting is just for grandmas, and if you are a grandma, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a boring outlet to pass time. Today, I'll be explaining the benefits, so keep those points in mind. Personally, I've been crocheting for quite a few years, so I can definitely say that it's been a great de-stressor for me. And also, since I put all my focus in what I'm doing, it really puts me in the moment. In this speech, I'll be explaining how crocheting benefits mental wellness, how it strengthens your attention span, and I'll be explaining their long-term benefits. I'll explain in more depth to convince you to give crocheting a second chance. So let's start with the mental benefits. My first point is crocheting improves your mental wellness. I found that a lot of the time, a lot of our stresses and anxiety come from overthinking, whether it's about the past, the present, or the future. And honestly, I think crocheting is something that can really help with that. In the paper by Jane E. Brody called The Health Benefits of Knitting, she explains in a study that they had a group of women and they were diagnosed with anorexia nervosa. And after picking up crocheting as a hobby, about 74% of this group actually had decreased their fears as a result of crocheting, because they're no longer overthinking and ruminating about their problems, but they're actually creating. People also find sadness and depression in being alone, and not everyone has someone to talk to or rely on, which can be very mentally heavy for a person. In the study, A Life in Tangled Years by Barbara Joberg and Mia Porco-Hutt, they discuss how in this day and age, there's a new culture and community for crocheting and knitting as well, but both work. And how now there are large gatherings of people, whether it's in parks, cafes, various public locations. There are ways to make connections. And even online, people can make friends, follow each other, make group chats, kind of share their ideas, their art, and uplift each other. Strengthening your mental wellness isn't the only benefit, but you can also strengthen your brain. My second point is crocheting helps your attention span. Nowadays, a lot of people are addicted to several technologies, like your phone, iPads, computers, gaming consoles, and because of this constant exposure to things we like, our brain kind of they get too used to that constant stimulation of how easy it is to just find things online, because everything's catered to us. There's an algorithm. In David Rossi Sebastian's study, Crochet a Little Hook to Improve Attention, he talks about how crocheting can actually improve your attention or attention span. And this is because crocheting it kind of gives you a delay of dopamine, because it requires more focus and attention, and it takes quite a long time to accomplish what you're doing. So you'll still get that hit of dopamine, but it's just going to take a longer time. In another study also done by David Rossi Sebastian's called Crochet Increases Attention Through Learning Requiring Motor Skills, he talks about how crocheting can actually improve your awareness and your motor skills too. And this is because it fixes your attention, because you're actively learning how to do something. You're putting all your focus in a specific task. And all these efforts on learning new things and counting stitches and maintaining your yarn tensions, it eventually helps you overcome that constant need for dopamine and helps you maintain focus instead of getting bored. Now I'll get on to my third point, which is the long-term benefits. Crocheting also has its positive benefits, which can last a lifetime. In an article by Talia Longo called Repetition, Rhythm, and Recovery, she talks about how in crocheting it can help strengthen your neural pathways in your brain and helps you engage in your memory and pattern recognition. This is important because as we get older, our brains kind of get a little slower and we can't remember things as well and we have trouble thinking back. So crocheting is a really good exercise to help your memory. Crocheting also has long-term benefits that aren't just health related, but also for our ecosystem. In the paper, Not Knitting for Nothing by Lily Lieberman, she explains that crocheting and also knitting help us depend less on mass production and also can contribute to lower carbon emission. So basically, we can help crochet and create things, and with this, we can recycle. So you don't always need to use yarn for crocheting. You can also use things like metal wiring, or I've seen people connect trash bags and make that a sort of yarn, and also like strung corn leaves and things like that. Really anything to practice this craft. Now that I've gone over all my points, let's review. Today we've gone over all of the benefits of crocheting, and it's not just a way to pass time. Crocheting is so much more than that. It's a way to improve your mental health. It's a way to fix your attention span, and it's a way so you'll make sure there are long-term benefits. So next time your mind is racing, or you're endlessly doom scrolling, or you're super bored and you're just stuck on social media, don't be afraid to pick up a crochet hook and a ball of yarn, because for me, it was the best outcome. I suggest the YouTube channel Club Crochet. They have a really good and long playlist for beginners. So I want you to think back on those 3 points because it can positively impact your life. All crochet experts start from zero in the very beginning. I didn't even know how to make a simple knot, so don't let what you see online or on like social media platforms impact you. This isn't just a hobby to show off, it's a hobby to really better yourself as a person.